This episode of the Grand Rising Show was brought to you by Autochthonous Assembly, where the real work gets done. Autochthonous Assembly is a gathering of the minds that do the work. Now, for many of our first-time subscribers and first-time visitors, you may be wondering who Autochthonous Assembly are. You can find this information about our mission statement and our core values on the website at autochthonousassembly.com/about. We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to raising up Indigenous American voices by using genealogy, also known as family history, or your family tree, which is the study of families and the tracing of their lineages and history. Genealogists use oral interviews, historical records, genetic analysis, and other records to obtain information about a family and to demonstrate kinship and pedigrees of its members. Our core values are the foundation of our company, which is essential to our success and serve as a lens through which we evaluate every business decision. Those core values are, but are not limited to, integrity, which is knowing and doing what is right; respect, which is treating others the way you want to be treated; responsibility, which is embracing opportunities to contribute; and servant leadership, which is serving the common good. Now, at Autochthonous Assembly, we have a couple of goals here. And our first goal and foremost of the reason why we do everything that we do is to ensure that we help you do your genealogy and connect back to your tribe and find out where you are from. Everything that we do from the standpoint of the Grand Rising Show and all the information that's posted on the website is dedicated to that one specific purpose: helping you find your genealogy, find your relatives, find your family so that you will know exactly who you are. And if you choose to, tie back into your tribe, whether that tribe is a Native American tribe, an American Indian tribe, whether it's allowing you to determine which house in Africa that you belong to, or what clan of Scandinavia or Europe or France that you belong to. Either way, our goal is to do just that: help you find out who you are so you know exactly where to start. We are not here to tell you who you are, and we're not here to tell you who you are not. We're just here to help you discover your beginnings. Another one of our missions is to help you become financially independent so that you can help your generations for the next 7 generations and be able to put a stable foundation for you and your relatives. And if you should choose to use this information that we provide free of charge to help not only yourself, but your community and your tribe, then we will do everything in our power to make sure that gets done as well. And remember, our goal here is to make sure that we help you get exposed to this information to put you in the best situation possible. So now what I'm going to do now is return it back over to the panel to see if there was anything I missed, and I will go ahead and get set up so we can get ready and get digging into this information. Panel, take it away.
Warning, warning, warning. Hard hats, pickaxe, shovels, boots required.
3, 2,
Mad
1.
about the
recount.
pause.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising.
I was
How's
in the
everyone
field.
doing? Hopefully everyone's doing well. Y'all
He's
see
like,
how
I
they
don't care
do me,
about
right?
anything
Y'all
that's
see how
going on in the
y'all see
background.
how they
Just
do me, right?
ain't nobody done nothing. That's what I be saying. I be saying ain't nobody doing nothing. What you mean?
I
Are we
know
live?
y'all need to warm it up though.
Warm it up, Chris.
I'm about to.
Warm it up, Chris. Yeah, I don't
That's what
know.
I'm supposed to do.
That's what I was born to do. But I don't know if I can do that right now because it is a bit chilly. I
Man.
ain't talking about T-bars in them.
Wow.
Are we live? Grand Rapids.
Yes, we are live. We are
Yeah, I told y'all when I said we live.
most definitely
We live.
live. I said we was live. I said Grand Rising to all.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't listening.
Right.
Gabby told me not to listen. She said when we go live, don't listen to TV. She
Really?
didn't say that. Her voice ain't that deep.
Nope, you got it. You running OBS.
Well, she's scared now. She's like, nope. That's something I'll be quiet for. But nope, you got it. She went on mute.
Grand Rising to the new subscribers to www.attacknessassembly.com. Grand Rising to the new subscribers of the YouTube pages, both Attackness Assembly and the Cab Grand Rising Show. So
We got two of them.
see,
A and B.
I want to say Grand Rising.
Oh, and hopefully everybody got the email and the post notification that all this year's Cab Grand Rising Show replays are at the bottom of the page and they're on demand. They're on an on-demand player, and you just pick which ones you want to watch whenever you want to watch. Save it, come back to it later, and it picks up where you left it off at.
Oh man, almost cussed.
Gotta drop a bomb on that one. Gotta drop a bomb on that one. Drop a bomb on the white boy crew. Drop a couple bombs. Tell me what you gonna do. Anyway, appreciate you, Bones, for doing what you do, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to say Grand Rising, peace and bliss to the silent majority. Thank you for letting your actions speak, even when you don't. Peace and Grand Rising to the smartest chat on earth. I didn't get my F special effects, Gabrielle.
Slip. Fall. Can't get up.
I know.
Slip. Fall.
Let's do the.
She must have got
Roll
scared you
call.
was gonna make her run the show.
I mean, she went deep undercover. Where she
She went to the deep web to get away from you.
Did she log out? Nah, she still.
Saying Guado.
She didn't say Guado.
She just hung up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say something to me?
No.
The name is Gabrielle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to you.
Oh, okay. My bad. I was putting the last pots and pan monster
The
up.
pot. One of them rising.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
You got the pots and the pots and the pots and the other
And
pots.
I was debating.
Did you win?
You better do what I
Actually
did, Gabrielle.
Huh.
I'm in between two heaters this rising. You hear me? About to get a third.
It's crazy because the heat has been blaring, right? I got the heat, and I know I'm going to have a highlight bill. But I got the heat at 80, and I cut the oven on and opened the door.
You got the heat on
Listen, I
him.
got up this rising feeling like the 80s. The heat is on.
The heat is on.
Woo, yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but I woke up this rising wondering who blew out the sun.
Look, I opened the door
He done blocked
and-
the sun out.
You know how when it's real hot during the summer, you can see the heat like mess
Yeah,
with
the
the
heat
wet,
rising.
right on
Uh-huh.
the ground. I opened up my door and that's how the heat looked coming outside. I was like, oh no, it's hot
Like,
in
you know
here.
what? This is not a post-rain summer day right now. What's going on? This is not.
That's
To
too much
open the
heat
door,
coming out.
everything frozen. Everything on the ground was frozen this rise. I'm like, I ain't going out there. But they need you. Well, they better wait. Listen, I love everybody. But hey, this rising, they found out my kryptonite. It get 30 degrees, I'm not coming. I'm sorry. I'm not coming out there.
We had a schedule. Nope.
I ain't gonna be able to do. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's really cold. Like the kind of cold that make you want to punch somebody, but you can't because you know you're gonna feel it.
Man, it's too cold to do that. It's not even the 30 degrees that makes it bad. It's the wind chill here. The wind blowing so hard, it's making it feel like 9 degrees. I can't do that.
Man, yesterday I ran my hands under hot water and it felt like my hands felt like
was
it
on
was
fire.
Yeah, like wait a minute.
It's
That's
like, you know what? This is the
not
opposite
good.
effect that I wanted. Wait a minute. I was just trying to warm up, and it seems like I got frostbite because of it.
Yes.
Like, why are all the nerves screaming in my hands? What's going on right now?
I
Pamela
was
Hall,
like, dang, is my hand falling asleep? Wait a minute.
Pamela Hall says that means y'all need to put some plastic around y'all windows. You have leaks somewhere in the house.
That's true, my dad. I put plastic up on our what is it, the AC units that we had. Stop the wind from coming through.
You know what's bad?
Wait, around the AC units?
Mm-hmm. A whole big.
Oh, yeah, around your windows and stuff. Yeah, you want to make sure.
I just taped up I cut open a huge lawn bag, and taped it up around it just to make sure no wind is blowing through, because it definitely does seep through there. We feel it in the summer.
It's the same thing that you see with them do outdoor gardens during the wintertime. They take the black plastic and wrap it around and stop the wind chill from getting in and killing anything.
I probably should have covered up them.
That's what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I'm gonna
Oh,
wait till the sun beat
Inside,
down a little
good.
bit more.
I just don't got no heat once I walk outside of my house.
Man,
That's
for
because all
real.
the heat outside is trying to get inside to get warm.
Exactly. It's like, you ain't got no heat outside either. I ain't got no heat outside either.
Nature's voice said, Bones, you don't do 17 degrees, bro.
No.
Hey, if you talking
I
about
keep
school,
trying to tell everybody, I visit home only during the summertime. I go back up to Connecticut during the summer. That's it. No, don't like this cold.
That ain't me.
40 degrees, I'm all right. 39, I deal with it. It start hitting 30 and the wind blowing, my body already know, ain't nothing. That alarm go off. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Danger, Will Robinson.
All right, so can we go ahead and do the roll call now? Just
Yeah.
No, can't do it. No, okay. Peace,
Oh yeah, Grand Rising, everyone.
Peace, Bliss, and Grand Rising, Vic Nelson. Grand Rising, Mr. TJ, aka Ratchet Man. Grand Rising, Nature's Void. You are late with the padded bus. Come pick up Gabby. Grand Rising, Pamela Hall.
If he got heat on it,
Come
all
on
right.
now, I didn't even do anything.
Yeah, but you thinking about it.
Oh, you feel
Bones
the
hit him with it.
intent,
If
huh?
you're really a prince, I'll marry you. He said, if it got heat, I'll go.
Grand Rising, that boy Wig. Grand Rising, Phoenix Rose, aka Faye Rhymes. Grand Rising, T-Tiny 04044 from Buffalo.
Just made me get colder by saying Buffalo.
Yeah. Pamela Hall says, I have my heat set at 74 and 2 space heaters in the house is very warm. That ain't a house, that's an oven. She got a house set for $450.
Your house is not a home.
That boy Wig said, tell them, Bones, we tropical people.
Mm-hmm. People here, they outside lighting fires in their little fire pits. I'm like, well, first of all, you got to go outside in the cold to light the fire. I'm good.
Yeah, if I gotta get dressed up like a snowman to go outside, I'll pass.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do it. Not doing it. Not doing it. Not doing it.
Well, snowmans in them is usually naked with a scarf and a hat on. So yeah, I'll pass too.
You know what? That is a true
What?
statement.
I'm just saying, you know, they don't be putting no coats on the snowman and stuff. That's just stupid. He Chili. Chili Willie was his name. Chili Willie, what they called him. Are we live?
Yes, we are. Grand Rising.
Oh, Grand Rising, y'all.
0911. Okay, now that we had our chance to vent about the code, everybody good?
Wait, now who is Nicole?
The code. It being
Oh,
the
okay.
code outside, not the person's name, Nikki.
Well, y'all got a code to go outside. What?
Shout out to Giovanni.
Hey, her name is not Nicole. She was born a Nikki.
I know. But then I also said Nikki, and I said shout out to Giovanni.
Well, you got to shout out Nicole too. Shout out to Copy and Dio. We do have a Nicole.
Shout out to Brett. Shout out to everybody in their family.
Shout out to them daughters who act like they don't want to listen.
Really?
Come home and get choked up by your mama. Gonna get this information. You're gonna get information right now. Care about no college?
Wait, Mama, no.
No, daddy, no, mama, no. My bad. I keep forgetting to be live, yo. My bad.
You ain't forgetting.
I did. I swear I did.
You ain't forgetting.
I felt like we was in the background. I'm sorry. I mean to put your daughter's business out there, Gabrielle. Just now. And then.
Really?
Oh, it's okay.
I was talking about
her. She records me, right? And she'll post it on her Instagram with her friends. And her friends think I'm so funny. They love me. And I'm like, stop doing that. Because one day I may be coming at you and you're going to have it on record.
Wu-Tang!
Well,
Right at your neck.
They said Wu-Tang for the children. Wu-Tang love the kids.
Protect
Your neck.
your neck.
For real. She be trying to protect her neck for real.
Bones, what'd you say yesterday? Hit him with a why you little? Let me stop before we
It'd be
get
a
started.
Bart Simpson and Homer episode.
For real.
Okay, what y'all? Y'all done?
Okay, I'm going
I
back.
swear it feels like Friday. We keep giving me live. I'm sorry.
So yesterday we talked about HUD Sec.9, capital funds. I don't know if anybody from the chat or from Silent Majority or the new subscribers had an opportunity to do some research. Or just look up some stuff, but
You could just Google it.
Google it.
Yeah, basically all the HUD programs and information is all on the HUD website. It's all there. They hid nothing. They didn't even try to hide it.
And all these sections are basically from the Housing Act of 1939.
I had a question yesterday that I did not get to ask because I didn't know if it was is it plausible deniability with that, or is it something else? Is another term?
What do you mean plausible deniability? You mean for the government?
Like, yeah, for the government.
Yeah,
like they know
plausible
that they
deniability.
get.
It's on the website.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean,
So
and
it's
that's
you. I mean, we can't really complain about. Nobody did nothing for us, and MLK didn't do this, didn't do that. And nothing, like it's on. We got to read.
But at the end of the day, we can always go to.
And we can ask questions.
Right,
Sorry, go ahead.
We can always go to our county representatives, our city representatives.
That's what I'm going to ask the
officials
question.
and ask them what specific programs do they have in place for us. And if you don't ask them for anything specific, then that's our fault. Let them
know what you need. You can let them know what you need. They should be able to tell you what is out there for you. I've done that before, with especially with renovations.
Hold on, Pep.
Let them know what you need, and they'll even come and inspect to make sure that that's what you need, and probably find even more than that for you. And that goes for housing. I'm just saying for housing and stuff like that. But go ahead, T-Mac.
Now, Pamela was like, "Please don't blow my mind again today." I didn't get right after the show. I mean,
So I don't know what to tell you. I was about to say drink some tea or something. I don't know. It might happen again today, Pamela Hall. You might want to turn it down. Turn your radio down. Am I on mute? Is we live?
No, wait, no.
No and no.
No, we live.
No, we live.
Yes. Stop it.
We're going on mute. I feel like you about to ask what we learned yesterday.
No, I'm not.
There's a whole lot of funding for us to fix our communities.
Keep it short and simple and to the point.
A whole lot of.
Gin and juice just went through my head.
Ladies and gentlemen, the A2 mutants.
Hold up. Me? I'm going on.
See, that's my whole point. So let's go ahead and start this clock so we can get this information out. Alright. Capital funds, public housing programs. Want to share the screen? Anybody in the chat have any questions? Pamela Hall, we got your request. So, Grand Rising, Michael Harris Brown Cheek, aka the YouTube Assassin. Grand Rising Celestial Love.
I'm able to read some excerpts today.
So do what?
I said I am able to read some excerpts. That's how you say that word? Excerpts.
Excerpts.
And
No,
the P in it.
don't give me a start line, bro. Don't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Put the P in it.
Let's see. Where is it? There we go.
Wait, can you put the link in the chat again? I didn't see it. Please. Okay, I lie. My bad. I see it.
Here makes the chat saying they only hear the music. They don't hear the talking.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say nothing because I thought it was me, and my phone was being smarter than me by playing no audio from TMH on Twitch or the website.
Oh, my bad.
But yeah, it's just music. So you
Oh.
got to start from way from the top because I've been checking for the last 3-4 minutes and I thought it was just me. I should have said something.
Nah,
My bad.
Good grief.
My bad. That's why I said in the chat, can it be heard? I was about to leave the call to see if it was just me being on the call, is why I couldn't hear it. But yeah, I ain't a technical person. My bad. My bad. I probably should have said something. Actually, so that means they didn't hear the intro or nothing?
No, they heard us. They heard the intro when I switched to I thought I fixed this. I guess I did. When I switched to yeah, it started about. It started when I switched the screens. I wasn't paying attention to the audio mixer. My bad. They can hear us now.
Oh.
Put some ones in chat to make sure. Yeah, Celestial Love says I can hear now. My mistake. Switch to
check 1 1 2 2 2 2 2 3 4 whatever.
What chat am I in? What is going on? See, I was in the wrong chat.
Hold on.
So yeah, Tiny 04, Said last thing she heard was Gabby looking for the link, so we have to probably just start from the top, from lay top.
Okay.
Peace to the chat. We're typing on the website chat.
All right. Ready. All right. So, yeah, it happened when I switched the screens. Yeah, I'll fix this after the show. We're looking at the funding, capital funding for HUD Section 9, and this is coming from the United States Housing Act. So, if you want to know all of the things that you are privy to as an American Indian, the best place to go is the United States Housing Act of 1937, and it will give you all of the sections and subsections, and then you can just look them up individually. Some of them pertain to HUD, some of them pertain to something else, but that's where we get the Section 9, Section 3, Section 8. So hopefully that answers that question. I've been able to download 30 pages from the Housing Act, but it's not all of it, because it's actually a large act. So hopefully that helps. Yeah. So basically, what I read was Section 9G3 of the United States Housing Act of 1937, better known as the Faircloth Amendment, limits the construction of new public housing units. The Faircloth Amendment states that the department cannot fund the construction or operation of new public housing units with capital or operating funds if the construction of those units will result in a net increase in the number of units the Public Housing Authority owned, assisted, or operated as of October 1st, 1999. And basically what this boils down to is, before then, or somebody blew the whistle and said that funds were being misappropriated. Stupid. Funds are being misappropriated for instead of operating or capital expense, they were being used to expand the building, thus increasing the amount of units. And with increasing the amount of units to those buildings, I'm suspecting that they would not have had to add any more or accept any more vouchers or any more residents. So they were in violation. Basically, someone found a loophole, the whistle was blown, and they closed it. It says this requirement is referred to as a Faircloth limit. The Faircloth limit is adjusted for PHA transfers of AC units, consolidations, and RAD removals. PHAs will not be funded for those units that exceed the Faircloth limit, and PHAs are responsible for reviewing the Faircloth limits and notifying HUD if they believe their posted Faircloth limit is in error. PHAs should review the national list of maximum number of units eligible for capital funding and operating subsidy by PHA as of 12/31/2019. So this is fairly new. This is less than 30 days old. This came out December 31st, 2019, and we're in January 22nd, 2020. So this is less than 23 days
Yeah,
old.
that addresses one of the issues we were talking about yesterday on the show and after, about how you have private people getting capital fundings for their home for Section 8, but then picking and choosing who they want in their house.
Exactly. So now they have what is called the national list of maximum number of units eligible for capital funding and operating subsidies by PHAs. Now, what I found interesting was they talked about that there were 3,400 public assisting agencies. So when I clicked on it, there are 71 pages. And each one has basically 75 housing authorities per page. Let me do something right quick. I gotta do some math.
Which would show you the problem. Remember, out of them 3,400, was only 130 something of them that actually did Section 8 vouchers. So how many of these places are getting funding, but not catering to the people they're getting the funding for?
If there's 75 housing authorities and there are over 75 listed per page, and each one of them has their own public housing authority code, that means there will be over 5,325 housing authorities listed here. So at least here on how many units they have. And again, every time there is a, what do you want to call it? An abuse of the system, or someone finds a loophole, as the moment that someone is notified, meaning the authorities are notified, they come up with an act and a law to make sure that that loophole doesn't get abused. But if no one talks about it, then no one knows, then they continue to do it.
Showing again the importance of not remaining silent on why your voice matters.
So I'm gonna put this list in the chat. It's a PDF. So yeah, I just found it interesting. Let's see something. Yeah, it doesn't give you the number, the total number. They just give you the housing authority code, and each code is representative of the housing authority. So this was last updated January 8th, 2020. So this is recent. So if you don't know what's going on in your community, whose fault is it? Well, if there is waste, fraud, and abuse in your community and you don't say anything, whose fault is it? I don't know. Just a thought.
And if you never ask questions, you'll never know. Then years later, you find you end up in the situation that we in right now, relatives, realizing the solution to fix the situation has always been around you. You just have to speak up and apply it. Start imagining in your very own community. How many people in your community don't even know this information? Look at the change that it makes once they become informed. It's like me, in my community, that's the icebreaker conversation on our local politics and what we can and can't do. Once I had that conversation, then I bring in genealogy. Because that's something that can affect the neighborhoods right now. And you need as many people in your neighborhood informed on this information as possible. So when these local meetings happen, if people got to work or can't be there, you can have representatives there from out of your community representing your choices, your interests. That's better than having nothing and letting somebody else dictate what your interests are.
It's facts. So, Gabrielle, excuse me. Either Gabrielle or No Sellout, which one of y'all want to read? Or able to read?
Never go on mute to say something. I think I did. Which one of y'all kicked?
Really? Anybody put you on mute?
Rochambeau.
Can you read those out?
Yeah, I'm able. I know how to do it.
Are
I
you
just got to get to
going
the link.
Oh,
I don't know how to. You know what? There I went. Close out the chat on accident. Hold on.
yeah.
So technically,
Nah,
you
man,
saying
nah.
your first Gabrielle.
You said yes, exactly. Then we got the rapping, and that's how it happened. Hold on.
That boy
What is going
Wiggs-
on, man?
That boy Wiggs said, I called one of the housing authorities and they had no idea what Hud Section 3 is. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do next, boss. The frequently asked questions. Did we put that in the form? The frequently asked questions for the Housing Authority Act of 1968 tells you what to do and tells you what questions to ask. Or you can always give us a call and we can send you that information. Because it's very comprehensive. Because we went over that at 3 days? It was 3 days that we went over that, and that was last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we broke down the Housing Authority Act of 1965, and it broke down the frequently asked questions, and in those questions there were things that you could ask of your housing authority. So if you don't ask this, you got to ask specific questions, and if they can't answer those specific questions, then there's an email that you can send to your regional director of your area. So we can get that.
Because they're supposed to have a representative there. If they're collecting funds and no representation of it, we got a waste, fraud, and abuse situation.
Big old facts.
Yep.
And that's why it's very important, relatives, because if your area is one of these areas that's collecting funds, but it's being pocketed for personal projects, that's class action.
It's another 2-syllable word at the end, but we don't want to, keep throwing that around. But yes, that's the truth. Waste, fraud, and abuse. Class action lawsuit. Be proactive.
My son 0911, aka Liz Robinson, says I wasn't able to be at the live. That's all good. Because Bones updated the player, you can now go back and catch the shows. HUD Section 3. Frequently asked questions.
All shows are on demand. You just go to the player and pick the one you want to watch. It's on demand, anytime.
Yeah, and the links to the frequently asked questions are in the chat. I'll dig them up and put them on the forum. So are you able to read No Sellout?
What page are we on that? I'm just saying, I saw a chart when I opened up the link. Am I reading the chart?
No, there is no chart.
Don't lie to me. I seen the chart. Hold on. Maybe it's a table of contents, chart form.
Bones. Oh,
well, my bones.
No, I was reading what Pamela Hall said. She says, well, send them questions to me via email, please, and thank you.
No.
Seriously, though, what did I just click?
Yeah, matter of fact, what I'll do, I'll send it out as a newsletter, so everyone that's registered on the form, you'll get an email. Just like how you get the notifications as an email.
T-Tiny-04044 says, you should just go to the HUD office. They can't dismiss you that easy in person. That's true, too.
Yeah.
And even if you do get dismissed, you can always keep calling them back. What are they going to do? Not answer the phone? That's perfect. It's perfect. Don't answer the phone.
Yeah, I mean, if it gets to the point where you have a problem, contact us. Like we said before, we have no problem setting up a conference call with a representative.
We've done it before.
So if you're having issues, relatives, that's where we start working together. So like I said, if it's waste, fraud, and abuse, we're going to get to the bottom of that. Enough is enough.
Yep. You're just going to be using me to just be singing hooks. That's pretty much what it is. Like he said, private projects. Funds are supposed to go to Section 3, and any other thing is supposed to be appropriated for, or the funds are supposed to go to, and they're not using it for that. Oh, yeah, we don't have Virginia Beach. Yeah, Virginia Beach. We don't have Section 3.
Oh yeah, go ahead. No sell out. Yeah.
No, I was just saying about Virginia Beach.
Actually break it down.
Yeah, Virginia Beach saying they don't have HUD funds or Section 3 funds because they don't have Section 3 residents or whatever excuse they gave, but they're still collecting funds for Section 3 and using it for other projects. High-rise apartments or luxury townhome, luxury apartments. And I doubt those landlords are taking Section 3, or no, not Section 3, Section 8 vouchers for people who probably been moved out of that area before they started building. But yeah.
Aren't these the same people that's under investigation now behind this?
Oh, most definitely. I ain't gonna say that we had nothing to do with that, but yeah, they're under investigation right now. So yeah, it's probably happening more places than just Virginia Beach. So if you're having problems with people not knowing any information about HUD, Section 3, all of a sudden, and maybe they don't have training, because I think the people we talked to, they didn't have training on it. They didn't even know how to answer the questions other than, oh, it's compliance. That's compliance. They're what is it? What did they say to Mitch about the good faith or honesty, the honesty program or whatever? What is it called?
It's all. I forgot how they broke it down, but it's it was basically just trusting their better judgment of the developer,
the contractors, and
doing what they're supposed to do. It wasn't even a contractor; it was the actual developing company.
Developer, yeah, you're right.
Multi-billion-dollar company that's been developing stuff all the way from Virginia all the way down to Georgia.
Facts. Still breaking ground here in Virginia Beach every other day. It seems.
Using HUD 3 Section funding, but tell you they don't have no HUD Section 3 residents. So
not for you.
How you get the funding?
Yeah, the funding ain't for you, even though it's all for you. Since you ain't asking about it, we just gonna use it for our projects. And then when you ask about it, we ain't got no Section 3. Section 3, what is it? Cooking? Section 3. Yeah, no, it's a problem. So definitely stay on top of it. Hit us up, like Bone said. It's not a problem for us to get involved. It is not at all. When there's waste fraud and abuse going on mute. And no TMH at it. I'm looking at a whole bunch. Look, this is the title of what I clicked. Where's it at? It's at the top of each page. Maximum number of units eligible for capital and operating subsidy, also known as a fair cloth limit. That's what I clicked. And it's a list, long list.
Hold on.
I'm looking for the meat potatoes, and it's just a list.
There we go.
Yep.
Try that.
Man, now I gotta go back. Hold on. Is we live?
Gabrielle, help double cousin.
No. It said I can't connect the server.
Hey, what exactly are you asking?
Help your double
I don't
cousin
think.
read. He's not weed.
No, it says server.
Up.
It says server not connecting. Office of Capital Improvements, correct? What incorrect?
Yes.
All right. I ain't gonna read it.
Capital Fund certification schedule for 2020. That's where we at.
Oh, wait. What'd you just say?
I didn't say anything.
This ain't no. Okay, I'm at the top of the page. So where are you at in relation to the page? Let me go desktop version because I know you're on the desktop. All right, now what you say now? I see highlights. Now I can see it better. All right. I see
Capital Fund certification schedule for 2020. Because we just passed a fair cloth limit correction. Or the fair cloth limit act.
Oh, that's why you posted that link. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Still don't know where we are. Could you tell me a paragraph or a bullet point?
Capital Fund certification.
The certification schedule for 2020?
Yeah.
That's what I see now. I didn't see it before. It was in the middle of all that. My bad. All right. Here we go. Am I off mute? Mic check.
You're off
All
mute.
right.
Let me, you're off mute. Go ahead.
2, 1, 2. Can y'all hear me? Capital Fund certificate. You got it up on the screen, TMH? Because I'm not on that screen.
Yes, it's on the screen, sir.
Shout out to the chat. Capital Fund certification scheduled for 2020. In preparation for the calculation of FY 2020 Capital Fund grant awards, the annual PIC certification process will run from July 15th through August 30th, 2019. The quote-unquote reporting date for this round of certifications is June 30th, 2019. During the certification period, PHA executive directors certify to the accuracy of the PHA's inventory information in the PIC system as of the reporting date of June 30th. This process is critical to ensuring the accurate calculation of grant awards. For further information, please refer to the updated step-by-step user guide PDF. Schedule, reporting date, 6/30/2019, certification open, 7/15/2019, certification deadline, 8/30/2019.
So stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
They have a updated step-by-step user guide for this.
Updated, not outdated.
How to access and complete the Capital Fund BNU certification. Per notice of Public Indian Housing 211-58, the Capital Fund Program formula used to calculate the funding amount for each CFP grant relies extensively on the data contained in the IMS.PIC system. The executive director or an authorized subordinate staff person is required to complete the certification on an annual basis within the system. This document will assist PHAs with completing this task. So it's basically a step-by-step program on how to complete this certification process. So basically, there is no excuse not to be able to fill this out. If you have questions, you can actually call. And the reason why I want to put this information in here is because when you're putting in this information for bids, you have to have the personnel, and make sure you have the personnel to do this, because if not, you'll end up doing everything and you won't have the time. So if there are funds to cover paying people, who's going to be the administrators and the managers of oversight for this? So you would want to know what you're getting into and what the requirements are before you actually get started. So that's a Capital Fund certification schedule for 2020. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Then they got the Capital Fund processing information. And I'll put that in the chat as well. And I understand for some of you this stuff is boring and detail laden and causes headaches, but this is where the money lies. It lies in the paperwork, and it lies in making sure you have everything done correctly.
That's funny that you're saying that. Well, I was thinking that. I was like, I wonder. Hope we're not losing nobody out there, but this is muy importante.
Yeah, this is not to, well, one, it's done to frustrate and deter people from doing it.
Big facts. I was about to use that word, deter.
But if you know what you need to be doing before you get started, you can put processes and people in place to handle it. This doesn't mean you have to do everything for yourself. And one thing I learned from James Flames is that the mistake that most people make is that they always underbid. They don't ask for enough money to cover their expenses.
Yep. Underbid, you're undercutting yourself.
Exactly.
You're undercutting yourself when you underbid. You think you're not going to, go ahead, TMH, could you please expand on that? With these bids, when it comes to these bids and your proposals?
So let's just say to run the program. The bare minimum to run the program, when it's all said and done, is going to be an annual grant of $250,000 to minimally run it. But it may cost you $1,500,000 to effectively run it. You'd be encouraged to put in the bid for the $1.5 million to ensure the program's success, opposed to putting in the bid for $250,000 to ensure you get the bid. Because once you get that bid, now you're obligated to meet the requirements. And if you don't have the processes or the people in place to meet the bid, then you will lose the program and it will go to somebody else. So that means you would have done all that work just to pass it over or hand it over to somebody else. You got to know your worth and know the worth of your people, and don't be scared or intimidated from asking. If they don't think the project's worth that much, they will let you know what they can provide should you win the bid. But I promise you, as a community, as we start blowing a whistle on these housing authorities that are guilty of waste, fraud, and abuse, getting the money won't be a problem because they're already wasting the money in the first place. And once those audits are ran and the lawsuits are pending, then those funds will be freed up. So now is the time to get your team together, to get your people together, to get your processes together, to get your people's resumes together so that you can start applying for this money, which is your money. This is not a handout. This is basically reparations for the land that was stolen from your ancestors that we have not been accessing, which they are using. When I say they, those that are not of Indian descent, those that are not of woodland Indian descent. They even got programs for Plains Indians. But if no one's using them, then we really should not, because I'm not going to say what we can't do, but we really should not get upset if we're not using it. If no one has put together a housing authority and put together a plan to counter what's being put in process, put in place, and you haven't gone out for funds and been turned down based off of discrimination or based off of them getting kickbacks, then we really have no complaint. Doesn't matter how much people demand for something, because whatever you demand, whatever you ask for, whatever you request or require is going to have to be done in writing. That's the way the United States government operates. Everything is still handled by mail or fax in many cases. Now they still have some processes where they use internal systems where it's email generated or generated through the website. But for the most part, the government still uses the United States Postal Service, which, by the way, has been a private company since 1970. It still acknowledges and gets to the government holidays, but it's been a private company since 1970. So it is not beneficial for anyone in any community that's underserved to complain if we have not utilized the services under HUD to our advantage and to the advantage of the community. And what I mean by that is, unless we've actually called the housing authority, spoken to a HUD 3 representative, been declined or denied, rebuffed, rebuked, or just straight out lied to, we have no complaint. Not a legitimate one anyway, because we can't prove as a whole that these funds were kept from us because we never applied. And when it's all said and done, the first question that's going to be asked is, did you apply for these services? And once you say no, case closed. Bang the gavel, move on. So that's why we're exposing this information. Power 10.9 says, this information is not born. It's for those truly want to change. That our brother Sam Cooke says so prophetically. What he's saying about a change gonna come. Well, the change ain't gonna come if we don't do anything. But you're right, Power 10, man. Power 10.9, excuse me. So, does anybody have any questions in reference to the capital funding? So, here's the link for the capital fund processing information, which entails a list of capital fund awards by PIH, 2019 letter to executive directors, capital fund processing guides for PHAs, annual contributions contract, and development per unit funding reports. So here is a list to all of the capital fund awards for PHA for 2019. Once it comes up, and as you can see, there's so much information, it's going to take a team of people to do this. So all of you in the same cities, all of you in the same towns, or even in the same states, I would encourage you to get together with your communities and get to work on this if you are serious.
And you know what's funny?
What's up, Bones?
People always quote that they fear us getting together. But when people say it, I don't think they realize what that means. They fear us organizing and putting together teams and infrastructure to carry this out. People count on us being so individual that we don't take the time out to realize that we have to work together in our community. That's the only way. It's like Tim Mason laid it out perfectly. It is impossible to do this as an individual. It's going to take a team of like-minded people in your area. We know what we can do when we get together. We have access to the information. And now we just have to start reaching out and getting together and using it. I mean, the choice is obvious. To me, it's obvious what to do. Just think, relatives, you only need one successful blueprint. You get one successful one, you just reproduce it in communities all across the landscape. All of us work together. That increases our odds because we only need one. It only takes one successful one.
So
to break that door down and lay the blueprint out for everybody else to follow suit.
Exactly. Now, Hopefully y'all can see the screen. To the right, this is the grant amount that was awarded. Alaska Housing Finance Corporation received an award for $2,941,459. Housing Authority of Birmingham District received a grant amount of $11,647,858. Mobile House Board received a grant of $6,638,805.
TMH, are you going there? Are you doing the amounts awarded right now?
It's public information.
Hold up, man. You can't be putting them people business out there like
It's
that in the public information section.
It's public information.
Public info. It's business. These
Oh,
numbers
man.
are not a secret. This is not a secret.
Man, if you put something
So
in the
this
book,
is
you went on
proof.
mute.
This is proof that these funds are being awarded to housing authorities. We've already seen that you can have your own housing authority.
Please say that again, TMH. That was life rhymes. I'm sorry. Say that
You
again.
can have your own housing authority as long as you
And
follow
who-
the guidelines. Go ahead, Bob.
And where these funds going to?
These funds,
Housing authorities?
Yeah, housing authorities.
And you can have your own housing authority.
Yeah, you can create your own housing authority.
That sounds like 1 + 1.
Housing Authority of the City of Dothan received a grant award of $1,552,289. The Housing Authority of the City of Huntsville, I think that's Huntsville, received a grant award of $4,125,417. Housing Authority of the City of Decatur
Shout out to Decatur.
received a grant award of $1,212,925. Housing Authority of Hamilton, Alabama received a grant of $1,078,494. And there are some grants that are significantly smaller. There are some, like is in the Tarrant Housing Authority, that received a grant of $176,951.
But TMH, are you naming cities?
No, I'm naming housing authorities. These housing,
Housing authorities.
are in specific areas. It's not
Okay.
in a city. This is
okay.
in some areas it's a city, but
I think my
more-
question was just location.
Yeah.
These have locations, right?
Yeah, they're located.
Some of these locations might be the same locations as our silent majority and the people in the chat and the people on the panel.
Exactly.
This ain't, La La Land, another universe. These are actual places. Like Virginia Beach can be on the list, and who else? Who we got? Richmond can be on the list. Tejas, any city in Tejas. All right. I ain't gonna interrupt. I'm going on mute.
No, you're right. Clayton,
These your neighbors.
Parish,
So-
Greensboro, Clayton, Tuskegee Housing Authority, 933.
Some of y'all neighbors got housing authorities.
There's a housing authority of the City of Chickasaw, $652,501 they was awarded.
Come on now.
Effective 16 April 2019. So this money has already been sent out.
This isn't like a 2012 chart.
No, 2019, last year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My next question. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna move.
So this is a chart of housing authorities that have received the money. Housing Authority of Pine Bluff, $25,493.
Okay, I got a question.
Sure.
What would a housing authority use these funds for?
They're supposed to use this money to build housing units for low income families.
I'm sorry. Could you say that one more time? These funds that are being awarded to these housing authorities are possibly used for what now? Like what could they be used for?
Low income families.
What are low income families in America?
It's based off of the household medium in your area. So whatever the average income is in your city, if they're generating 50% or less or 80% or less, then they will qualify as either low or very low. So it's built for those people.
Yep. Like your firefighters, teachers, police officers.
Police officers. Yes, sir.
The average working man and or woman.
Yep. You'll be surprised what low income is. You'll be surprised. Don't
They
let the
have
news
this.
media fool you.
This is
They got a
posted.
chart out there where you can
There's,
find
I'm
out.
about to
You can
say
go to
there's a chart.
USDA. If you go to USDA, you can find the median income of your area. It will
Yep.
shock you. You think you're balling, get your feelings hurt.
Okay, so I sorted. Okay, so I sorted. Now check this out. And I know that
I'm sorry.
I know that
That was funny.
James is familiar with this because this one of these hits home for him. New York City Housing Authority received a grant on the 16th of April 2019 of $548,996,647.
Now you must have said 1,000 twice. I thought I heard you say 500 and then million
The
afterwards.
city of New York, the New York City Housing Authority received a grant of $548,996,647.00.
Now I know you them numbers man and
Y'all
money
still with
man
us
and
out there?
all.
Y'all still with us out there?
It
Y'all heard that? That's
sound like
500 million.
it sound like you just said over $500 million when you said that 545 million at first.
548 million
48. Oh, I was wrong. Yeah,
996,000
I was just 3 million off.
$647.00
That was to a housing
good.
authority.
in New York.
That was to the city of New York or a housing authority.
No, that
in New
was
York.
to the New York City Housing Authority.
Oh my lord. Okay. I'm asking for somebody.
The Puerto
I got
Rico
questions.
Public Housing Administration received a grant of $150,515,601.
And you said they use this to build housing for people.
But hold on, y'all. People out there trying to tell you the country broke and running out of money. Y'all better stop listening to any and everybody. They listen.
The economy was
They are
bad.
not giving nobody no $250 million if the country going broke.
Houseway. And letting them do what they please with it. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do, but they're doing what they please with it. They in charge. Man, okay. Oh, my bad for the background noise going on mute.
Chicago Housing Authority received a grant of $62,520,514. Philadelphia Housing Authority received a grant of $54,916,965.
I got a question. You keep saying grant.
Yeah,
Why are you saying grant?
because it's not.
So they grant.
It's money.
It's not a loan.
No, it's not a loan.
No,
It's
not
a grant.
alone. You don't pay
After
this back.
25
It's
years, they got to pay it back.
They ain't got it.
You
No,
right?
it's a
No.
You're
grant.
not saying that part.
It's a grant. They don't pay this back.
Hold up, man. I got to do some more research going on.
They're getting grants to provide a service to a particular population.
Boston Housing Authority received a grant of $27,090,639.
I thought Boston was like a rich town. You can do that in Boston. You can just have a housing authority and get grants for building more
But a
houses.
rich town compared to who?
So okay, let me go on mute. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Cuyahoga Metropolitan Housing Authority, sounds like an Indian housing authority to me, received $26,566,635. Now this is a one-time grant that was effective as of April 16, 2019.
2019, man. Nah, man. Is this on the screen? You showing everybody? Because I can't see it. I'm not looking right now. But
Yeah, it's on the screen. Yeah.
It say 2019 on the screen.
Yeah, April, right here. All of these are the effective dates.
Hold on, I gotta. Okay, so when these funds are awarded, right?
Yeah.
Does the housing authority have a plan already in place? Do they put in yo, we need this amount, and they be like, all right, here you go.
Awarded means there was a bid put in and they granted it.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
They
So the
put in a
housing authority
bid.
came up with that number. or some or a number at least. They get to come up with a number, and they get awarded with.
They put a bid in, and they won the bid.
Yeah, they put a
Google
bid
now.
in on how much they needed to do this project, and they got awarded that bid.
I'm Googling all of this.
It's no different than the video that we watched with the two brothers in Chicago get the 63-something million.
Yeah. I was gonna bring that up when he said Chicago Housing Authority. But okay.
Remember, this is just one program. This isn't all the programs.
How many?
This is one program out of
how many? That's what I'm saying. It's not the city of Chicago. How many housing authorities can you have in one area?
How many can you build?
Man, I'm going on mute.
If you follow, there is a guideline that tells you there is no limit to housing authorities. That's like saying how many businesses can you have in the city?
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is just hold on. Did we do a show on housing authorities already? We just did.
We talked. Anything dealing with HUD Section.9 is basically housing authority because that's what.
Yes, sir. Wait a minute. So this is for us, like people, right? This is corporations of people.
So they can't get denied. Yes, they can get denied celestial love, but the reason why these are getting granted because there's no competition, and because the people that is built could be for aren't applying for it. There's no competition.
Sounds like a lot of things we're not doing. Some people don't vote. Some people don't fill out the census.
Look at it. Think about it. Out of that 500 million. There should be HUD Section 3 contractors. But as we the people, if we're not registering our businesses, we're not applying ourselves. Residents, they get first dibs on training and stuff through this money on these construction projects. But if residents in these complexes, if they're not registering as residents, then how can you get awarded if you're not participating in it? That's why I said before, people telling you don't do the census and stuff. This is the big table, relatives. This is the grown-up table we sitting at. And people telling you not to participate. This is where the money is broken up, made, awarded. This is where it's done.
These are the same programs our organizations, our so-called black organizations are getting awarded the money to. They never tell you about it. Your NAACPs, your push operations, or your push coalitions. They know about these programs. They just don't tell you about the programs. Your fraternities, your sororities, your Masonic organizations. They don't tell you about these organizations, but they do know. So, Newark Housing Authority received $24,029,303. Now again, this is from one grant.
Hold up. Now, and I just want to clarify. When you say housing authority, you mean somebody who went and created a housing authority correctly, properly. Mm-hmm. Paperwork is all in line, so they have a housing authority. They put in a bid for a project, and if they get awarded the bid, they get their funds to start their project, start and or finish their project. I'm gonna go on mute.
And just like the grant that was given to the city in Norfolk, that was phase 1. So there are multiple phases.
Multiple grants.
They're also exactly in multiple grants. This is just one grant of many that they probably want.
Lord of mercy.
Think about it. You might not even live in a housing authority, but you live in the area of one that got awarded this money. Wouldn't you think it would benefit you to have your business registered as a HUD Section 3 business?
You know what?
Putting you on the list to apply for some of this funding that just got awarded? Think about it. We're not applying on no level. I'm going to go back again. That's 500. That's a $250 million. Over $250 million.
Bruh.
Now imagine we have businesses registered as HUD Section 3. We know the information. We got all our ducks in a row. That allow us to start competing for that money, for that same money to come build up our areas. All we're saying is, what do you think happens when we form these housing authorities, when we form these maintenance companies, all we're saying is, let's do it for ourselves.
Exactly. What he said
They
earlier.
gave us the playbook. The playbook ain't a secret, y'all. We don't got to do no Spygate. It's public info. Everybody but us got the playbook.
Even people just getting here get the playbook.
We got the playbook now. We can't sit back and be like, we the most competitive people, we the best. Now it's time to ball and we ain't finna ball. Relatives, I'm like, let's go get it. We got the playbook.
Man.
Look at all the research we did before we got to this point. I'm talking about the stages in life that got you here. So you trying to tell me we get to this point? It's game day. We ain't finna go over the plays that's being ran. We ain't finna look at this template and see where we can plug and play. Again, it only takes one. And the more of us in our communities that activate, we increase our chances. Because it only takes one of our communities to get it. Then all our communities have a blueprint. It's plug and play from there. Don't get no easier.
The City of Los Angeles received a grant. The Housing Authority received a grant of $21,028,738.00. Housing Authority of Baltimore City. I know somebody that's a Indian that lives in Baltimore. Received a grant of $19,898,932.00. The DC Housing Authority. I know a young man that lives in DC that's putting out a declaration. Makes a lot of declarative statements. And he works a job. We talking about social constructs. The man. He works for the man. Anyway, DC Housing Authority received a grant of $19,220,869. All these are housing authorities. Miami-Dade Public Housing and Community received a grant of $18,051,330. The Housing Authority of New Orleans received a grant of $18,320,804.00. The Housing Authority in the City of Atlanta, Georgia received a grant of $16,309,023.00. The Public Housing in and for the City of Minneapolis, Minnesota. We know somebody that lives in Minnesota, don't we? Received a grant for $14,799,615.00.
No, it's not Adrian Peterson anymore.
Seattle Housing Authority received a grant for $14,638,529.00.
That's Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington.
They made a movie with the name Seattle in it. I know. I mean, that's a place.
Home of President Obama received a grant for $13,328,069.00.
That's a tropical place. They need
these are housing authorities that have received funds. So
they're not about to get them. They already got them.
Yeah, they already got them. These money was awarded as of 16th of April 2019.
April about to come back up. Phase 2, their second round of funding finna pop up.
Yep.
I love April.
Celestial Love says, what? Miami? Yeah. See, this is the thing. There are anywhere that's building, anytime a high-rise building is going up in your community, some type of project,
that's HUD.
That's HUD.
Ain't nobody building these high rises and these houses out of their pocket. No. Business does not work that way. Personal businesses do. That's why they stay personal. But business, no. They're using other people's money, grants and other people's money.
Hold on. This is funny.
You're a Devo.
Hold on. What that say? Virgin Islands. Come on, man. Virgin Islands received a grant. The Virgin the Virgin Island Housing Authority received a grant for $10,084,930. Come on, man.
Yeah, Virgin Islands, where people run to the vacation, all in the sun.
Buffalo, T-Tiny 04044. The Buffalo Municipal Housing Authority received a grant for $11,630,129.0.
Look them up. See what they built. They're probably next door to you. You never know.
Yeah, you live there, so you probably seen all the
Look
new
up that housing
construction.
authority.
Now you know where that money came from.
Exactly. Man, I thought you had $200. I do. But I don't want to spend HUD's money.
So
Oh, there she go.
with all this business and understanding with HUD and the different programs that's established, if someone really didn't understand business, they do have programs that will assist them with going to school or getting a type of education or a learning to establish a business or businesses or whatever it is that they're trying to do, geared towards HUD Section 3, correct?
Correct.
HUD Section 3 puts you on a list for training.
So if someone wanted to get training and understanding, a better understanding of business, and I'm saying this because I realize that we're going over all this and it's definitely eye-opening, but at the same time, TMH has said it so many times, if you don't understand business, okay, let me not repeat that, but when you don't understand business, you don't understand how to run a business. You won't take, just if you don't understand business, you won't know how to run a business. And in order to run a successful business, you need to know business, right?
There is a training that will show you how to not only set everything up, but also how to run it. So
I just want to.
No, I understand what you're saying. So what they've done is they've gotten rid of all the excuses. And the reason why they did is because they had to do it. This money is basically reparations from stealing our ancestors' land. See, the 1866...
Can you say that one more time, TMH? Because a lot of people pay
reparations for stealing our ancestors' land. This is how
this money here, the HUD funds, right?
Right, that they keep replenishing every year.
Every year, not a budget that use it or lose it type budget.
No, they add to it. If it hasn't been spent up, they add to it.
Hold up now.
There's
a reverse budget.
They say HUD, but if you look up the programs, all the programs are under PIH.
What does PIH stand for? I keep hearing you saying that.
Public Indian Housing. All this comes from that.
Hold on now. You said public Indian housing. Ain't that the Native American?
Even when you look at Section 9, it says PIH. All this stems from PIH, Public Indian Housing.
And again, this is all public information, so this is nothing that we've discovered or something that we come across that only a Titans Assembly knows about. Choctaw Jimmy, a.k.a. James Flame, a.k.a. Doodoo Vision, has been telling people about this for years.
We've even seen old videos on YouTube that have no views talking about this kind of information. Housing authorities letting the people in their community know about Section 3. Section 9. Well, no, not about Section 8. We already know about Section 8.
There is no...
Yeah, just like how I was saying yesterday. You look around, you see all these retirement homes, all these 55 and older communities. You think people being generous and building them. No, that's Section 7 from PIH. Elderly and disabilities. Section 7 PIH. That's where that funding comes from. Attached back to Section 9.
Bangor, Maine. Housing Authority of the City of Bangor received a grant of $1,374,611. Hampton, Virginia. Hampton Redevelopment and Housing Authority.
Hold on, you said what now? Where?
Hampton Redevelopment of Housing Authority.
Nah, man.
Received a grant of $1,372,164. You can tell
They
what
on the
city
water.
is from. You can tell what city is from here. This tells you the city.
Come on, man. Nope.
This is one grant, people. This is not all of the grants. This is just one of thousands. Thousands.
Yep. I'm still on the PIH list of programs. I mean, 800s and still going.
Pick a state, any state.
And that's all we're saying here, relatives. Imagine we put ourselves in position from this day moving forward to be able to access these funds, to bid on these contracts, to start our own housing authorities, to start building the communities that we know that we need. Who know our needs better than us? And we don't have to wait for no one to come do it. We don't have to pander for no one to go do it. Let's come together, put down what we're going to do, and we take it to them, and we bid on what we are building for our community, for our future. Again, it only takes one.
So I'm pulling up the development per unit funding report. They got a report when they get this money. So it tells you what they did with it. Standing units 20. Grant amount portion by development 52 million. Portion of formula grant awarded as DTF 0. Per unit funding 2,646. High performer bonus amount. They get a bonus amount for being a high performer. Per unit. Amount redistributed due to high performer designation.
So someone doesn't have to start off big, so to speak, right? They can start off with something small and then increase it as year goes along.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got some people accessing this with just houses. Renting houses out to Section 8. Remember, this is just one program out of thousands.
So anything in parentheses when it comes to dollar amounts, meaning this is how much money that was lost. 158,784 because they were not a high performer. But they received the most money. Standing units. 2,391 units. Grant amount portion by development, 8,269,249. Frederick Douglass Housing Authority. I don't know what to tell y'all. So here's a housing authority, and this is the key part. This is a developer that they used. So that money that New York had won, the housing authority in New York had won that $50-something million. There were developers that were able to get some of this money. 8 million, 8 million, 7 million. Per unit funding. $3,458. $3,458.49. That was per unit.
Again, imagine when we start becoming these contractors.
That
Not
was
all
cost
of us.
per unit.
Bones, you said it. You said it earlier. You said, "What does it look like when we all get together?" Y'all know what it looks like, and I'm not talking about on no music video either. I'm talking about for real, for real, for real, for real. And you said that was per unit, TMH.
That's how much it costs per unit to build that.
Yeah, that's what they charged them, $3,000 per unit. Now, did they spend that much per unit? Hey.
Solid gold telephone.
But then again, think about it. Some of them people, when we apply, supposed to be HUD Section 3 contractors. Then a percentage of them workers supposed to be HUD residents. And that's what I mean on so many levels. It's on so many levels.
This is all the same housing authority.
So, Sella, didn't the housing authority do to New York? So they were paying them, what, $15+ an hour just for training?
This was more than one grant. Just so y'all know.
Last I remember, did they put a cap on how many grants you can apply for?
Nope. New York Housing Authority has won a lot of grants, y'all. David Coy said, I thought it was 35 an hour up to. So they had to fill out a funding report to tell you who the money went to once they got the money. The expenditure end date. These companies will be getting money until April 15th, 2023.
One more time?
These companies will be getting funding up until 2023. Expenditure
That's
index.
it. Mm-mm-mm. I hope everyone's seeing the picture. And yes, Celestial Love, yes, you have the ability to buy your block back and rebuild it instead of letting somebody else. Think about what's been going on the majority of our lives.
Is that what they saying in the
been coming
chat?
and buying up our blocks and rebuilding them how they want it.
With not their cash, with not out of their
And all
pocket.
we're saying is, what happens when we use these same programs for the benefit of our community? Not to make $1 off of our people, to actually become self-sufficient. What happens when we take the dollar motivation away between us and we actually work for the embetterment of our situations now and our future? Because see, once we start doing this, these infrastructures we set up, they will generate capital. But it takes us coming to the table, sitting down. Do what they never wanted us to do. Actually have face-to-face communications with each other. Actually get back to know one another. Know each other's situations. Know each other's environments and communities and each other's needs. Because once we start having them conversations that allow us to work together for a common goal. But again, it has to start locally in your community. You have to be willing to get up, to go out, to speak. We've been told no basically our whole lives. What are we fearing no for now? When we know when we're being told no, that, oh, we got this to support us. We're not saying this is the only solution, relatives, but we do know this. This is a solution that has been working since 1937, and it don't look like it's stopping no time soon.
I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, I don't know. Got anything? Anybody got anything? Anybody? I guess some numbers are burning a hole in people's heads, burning a hole in people's pockets. Proof will never be a problem.
But it should give people something to look at when you're back in your community and you look around and you see all the construction and stuff going up and you done heard these numbers, and some people, it's your area.
They even have a public and Indian housing lead-based paint capital fund program. Go ahead and switch your screen back. There's a lead-based capital fund NOFA update and reissue frequently asked questions.
Basically, if you wanted to start a company that was removing lead-based paint from areas and demoing them. They'll walk you through how to do it,
So
and
that's
probably even got a program so you can get paid training.
there is a program for you to get paid to train. That's the thing. People don't know it. So Celestial Loves, she says, my problem is I've never moved in this way. I have always worked for companies, so it's scary. Yeah, but you don't have to do it alone. That's the thing. People think they have to do things by themselves. You don't. Because what you'll find is once you start going to those classes, you'll find people like you, and you'll be able to work with them in your community. Let's see. We're not asking people to do something by themselves. So please understand that, because that is not our intent. Oh, there it is. So I'm pulling up a Word document, which is a frequently asked questions on the lead-based paint of capital flood programming. So if you have family members that actually have lead paint issues in their neighborhood, you can send them this. And even if you don't want to do, if you really don't want to get involved that way, the least you can do is make sure that the housing authorities are doing what they're supposed to do to protect those people, if nothing else. Where can I find the program notice of available funding? It's just for lead paint.
But think about that. There's a program where they're going to fund you to remove it and pay for you to learn how to remove it. And then again, not saying that everybody have to drop what they doing and go do this. No, there's some of us that's already in these fields already.
Yep.
There's a program basically for every field that we're in. Again, this is just one program we're going through. One.
The purpose of the lead-based paint capital fund program is to help public housing authorities identify and eliminate lead-based paint hazards in public housing in accordance with Section 9 of the United States Act of 1937, 42 U.S.C. 1437 G, 1937 Act, and the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2017. $25 million shall be available for competitive grants to public housing agencies to evaluate and reduce lead-based paint hazards in public housing by carrying out the activities of risk assessments, abatement, and interim controls, as those terms are defined in Section 1004 of the Residential Lead-Based Paint Hazard Reduction Act of 1992. This second round of funding makes available funds not awarded under the first round of competition. The National Allocation of Funds Act has been updated by technical correction. Again, this seems like a lot, but start where you're at. What issues and what problems do you see?
Attack it on a local level. That's where you will make real change.
If you don't know what challenges are in your area, talk to your local politicians and ask them what do they see the challenges are, and then go and look for a HUD program that covers it.
That's it. If you don't, someone else will in your name or image.
And then you wonder why your area be getting gentrified. I don't know. My mentality is, I don't knock what people do with their time. You do what you want with your time. But my thing is, if you can spend 4 to 5 hours complaining on YouTube about something, you can at least spend 1 to 2 hours a day finding a solution for the thing that you spent 4 or 5 hours complaining about or watching somebody complain about. I don't know. That's just me. It's Capital Fund Guidebook. We'll see if there's a list of capital fund grants. These are a list of types of capital fund grants. Replacement housing, demolition and disposition, transitional, emergency and non-presidentially declared natural disaster. Natural disaster, emergency and non-presidentially declared natural disaster. So that means if the president has not declared a national disaster in your area, you still can get funds.
That's what they were accessing. Remember when the USDA and HUD was doing funds for the Bahamas and Puerto Rico and all? That's why.
It says Congress annually establishes a set-aside. I'm going to read that again. Congress annually establishes a set-aside from the capital fund appropriation for emergencies and non-presidentially declared natural disasters. Grant funding is awarded annually.
Okay.
So if there's not a set-aside that year, it stays in there and then money gets put on top of it.
Yep.
Something like a rollover.
Yep.
Grant funding is awarded on a first-come, first-served basis to public housing authorities applying pursuant to a procedure described in Chapter 8. So you want to get your public housing authorities together. Emergency safety and security. Some from the Emergency and Non-Presidential Declared Natural Disaster Set-Aside, Congress authorizing HUD Annually Appropriations Act, annual set-asides to assist public housing authorities with threats and resident safety and security caused by safety and security emergency. HUD awards these grants competitively based on lottery of all applicants that meet threshold requirements. Emergency safety and security. That sounds like high crime areas.
Yep.
In previous HUD annual appropriations acts, Congress authorized capital funding, education and training community facilities, CFCF, capital fund grants to be distributed competitively to PHAs for the construction, rehabilitation, or purchase of facilities to provide early childhood education, adult education, and job training programs for public housing residents. Currently, CFC is not authorized for fiscal year 2015. So, Pamela Hall, you was asking a question in reference to training and education. Ask your local political officials, is there or are they using funds from the CFCF Capital Fund Grant? I put the link in the chat.
Pass the link like they used to. No, that don't work.
Wait, did you? Okay, never mind.
What?
Yeah, just ruin that? Yes, I did.
You said CA?
What do you mean?
I'm trying to figure out what letters did you just say?
CF. Charlie Frank.
Okay.
Or Charlie Foxtrot. Why you ask?
Stop cussing.
Because I thought I heard Cafra.
No, you heard my accent messing up. That's what your ears.
It's accent.
They got eligible activities may be generally grouped according to the following budget lines. They have budget line items. I mean, come on, man.
What's that mean?
Basically, let you know what your limits are. How much they're willing to invest in said acquisition development based off of what you need. They break it down according to costs. So they even tell you the guidelines that you can work within so you're not going blind. Plug and play. It's like having an open book test and there's no time limit.
Oh, so I can go get something to eat?
Yeah.
Man.
They even break down defining the cost and tell you the things that they are that include but are not limited to. Come on, man. That's why there's not going to be any reparations or. I'm done. I mean, anybody out there got any questions? Anybody in the chat? Your wig's blown back. What's going on? Talk to me. At the end of the day, we don't know what's going on because we don't ask. You start with your local politicians. Find out what it is that they see the need for. And then go look up HUD and see if there's a program there and ask for local politicians if they have these programs. And if not, why not? That's where you start. So, anything you want to add, Bones? You're probably busy.
No, that sorry about that.
No.
I had to answer the question on the call.
You
Mainly just what you said, to where find out what your area needs are. Then find a program to fill the needs, and if it's not available, then you have to ask questions why.
I mean, anything that you need to know can be found on HUD. And they update the website. So again, they have culpable deniability. Now, as many websites that we go on as a people and we look at, we can tell everything about our favorite artist, or our favorite sports athlete, or our favorite YouTube celebrity. But you don't know what programs are available in your city. You don't know what programs are available in your county. You don't know what programs are available in your state.
Because even when they try to tell you no about something, you can always point it back. Where it states on your website, you're supposed to have this program with this access. That's even when you talk to your HUD representatives and they tell you they don't have this and don't have that. You can always point them back to their own website where it states this is what you're supposed to have and offer. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Again, if we remain silent, no one knows that they're in violation of these acts. And if they're not in violation of these acts, what happened? Then laws are created to penalize those who are violating the acts. But then again, nobody never knows if you never get up and apply and never say anything. Let it go on how it's always been going on.
Gabrielle, you've been extremely quiet today. You all right over there?
Oh, this that kind of day.
No, I mean, I'm listening because everything that is being read and everything that is being said not only makes sense, but it's this realization that the only thing to do is to do it, period. There are options out there, and there are a lot of things that we don't know, and there are going to be a lot of things that we learn diving into this and going forward and using these programs, asking questions. So it's one of those things that me being quiet is just, there was a thought that went through my mind for those who are listening, like the silent majority that hear the programs, see the programs, but don't know how to actually go out and implement them. And that discouraging, or not discouraging, but that new feeling of doing something new, asking new questions, diving into an area that you're unfamiliar with, it can be intimidating, but reading through all this and listening to everything that's being said, it just sounds intimidating. It's not. You know, it may be new, but it's there. So it's how Bones was saying, this isn't a handout, if that makes sense. These things were put in place to help you, achieve self-sufficient, self-reliant. No one gets, as Bones said it also yesterday, no one has gotten anywhere by themselves. So it's one of those things, looking at it not as a handout, but assistance. Because we all need assistance in whatever it is we need, assistance with. But those resources are out there, and I just didn't want to. The questions that I have, I didn't want it to distract from the point, if that makes sense.
It does.
I hope you write them down. Did you write them down?
Yeah, I did.
All right, cool.
But it's just
you got a show after the show.
Yeah. Everything that's being said is valid, but again, the more that HUD Section 3 and the different programs are read, are gone over, are conveyed, the more it's understood that no one really has an excuse, because again, you can't unhear something. You can't unhear what you've already what's been told to you. You can't unsee what you've seen. So it's one of those things like, hey, like, it's there, the bell has been rung, what you gonna do? What you gonna do about it?
What you gonna do?
Yeah, so it's me being quiet is just my questions. Yeah, I don't want to distract from every valid point that has been made by you, Double Cousin, and Bones, or distract from the programs that need to be let known that are out there to utilize. I mean, I've learned definitely a lot that I've missed. Yeah, so that's just why I'm being quiet. Message,
Gabrielle. Message. You hit him with the last one. Message.
Yeah, I mean, this is real. And personally, for me, if someone's saying, "Oh, well, I can't do this, I can't do that," well, do you know about this program? Have you talked to this person? Have you talked to, this organization? Well, no. Okay, well, why can't you? Like, this leaves no room for excuses.
And Celestial Love brought up a good point. She says, I went to a first-time home buyers program the other weekend, and someone questions about grants. And the guy basically said, oh, well, grants, sometimes you have to live in a house for a certain amount of years. Sometimes you apply for a grant and it's not available. And that's true. And Celestial Love, you are absolutely right. And here is my retort, not to you, but to the general public. You have a better chance of getting a grant from HUD than 3 friends going to the same university, graduating with a degree, and getting a job in their field from a major university.
Better than Lotto.
The first day you get to a university, they tell you freshman orientation, look to your left, look to your right. Only one of y'all gonna graduate.
Oh,
People
man.
fork out thousands of dollars every quarter, every semester. They go anyway for the opportunity to have the opportunity or the possibility of getting a job. But people do that, mortgage their house, and all this good stuff. And I'm not saying it to knock the education system, but what I am saying is this. You have a better chance of applying for a grant through HUD and getting it than somebody graduating from college and getting a job in that field. So
And you got to think, a lot of these home buyer programs, they're going to push you away from a grant because they're not getting no cut off of it. It doesn't allow them no wiggle room whatsoever. But
pay
not to
cash for
mention that,
property, you don't need a bank.
and not to mention that the first-time home buyers program is funded through a grant, so that's crazy.
Say it again, Bones. I don't think they heard you.
The first-time home buyer program is funded through a grant, through HUD. Things people don't want you to know. Because what did we read yesterday? That through HUD, you just don't have to have rental properties. These people have the ability to sell real estate through HUD.
Commercial and private.
So a lot of these realty companies, their portfolio is all HUD, but they ain't gonna tell you that.
All right. So it's about that time, I guess. Unless anybody has something else they want to add or something they want to read or discuss. All right, then. I'm not looking at the screen, so somebody can read the screen. And if anybody in the chat has got a question, let me know. But we give our salutations and move on out smart. All right, then. So, Gabrielle, what you got for the good people before we head on out today?
You don't want to try double cousin first?
Oh no, I'm good. I got it out of my system. I went once. You know, I ain't got nothing to say.
Okay. All right. A shout out to Double Cousin for sharing this and reminded me where I got this from. I say this a lot. But first, peace to the panel, peace to the chat, peace to the silent majority. Copper, Carrie Bay, Do Division, Bones, Double Cousin, No Sellout, TMH. Hope I didn't leave anyone out. So I say excuses builds monuments of nothingness. And it was a quote that I had read, but it stuck with me. And this is like maybe 10, 15 years ago, but it's always stuck with me. And I went trying to find the original quote. And it goes something like, excuses are the tools of the weak and incompetent. They build bridges to nowhere and tunnels to nothingness. Those who excel in excuses seldom do anything else. Therefore, there are no excuses. So that's that. And then don't let the mental blocks control you. Set yourself free. Confront your fear and turn the mental blocks into building blocks. The world's greatest achievers have been those who have always stayed focused on their goals and have been consistent in their efforts. So, with that being said, do your genealogy, continue on your genealogy journey, know who you are so that no one can tell you who you are. Be mindful, pay attention, definitely pay attention, but definitely read, look at those programs. If it's something that you want to do, utilize those programs. If it's something that you want to or need to be educated more in, utilize those programs. If it's home ownership or buying the block, do that. Use those programs. It's putting yourself out there a little bit, but hey, why not? There was this I think it was the guy of I think Google, I forget who it was, but he said once he realized that death was inevitable, he realized he had nothing to lose. So yeah, get out there and do something. Be something. If you want to be somebody. Nah. But yeah. Do what you got to do to contribute and make Michael Jackson, make this world a better place. Help your family, help your neighbors, help your people, help your community. Because if you don't do it, the next person will, and you don't know how they're going to do it, but you know how you want it to be done. So yeah, do what you got to do, peoples. Everyone have a beautiful day.
Yeah, that's like voting or not voting and complaining.
Oh yeah, man. Don't forget that census is still out there. Make sure you count.
Mm-hmm. Go to the library if you have to.
Make sure
you go online. It's the first census available online to fill it out.
And if you feel embarrassed, the library is the best place to go because you got to whisper in there, hey, can I get that census form, please?
Are you promoting whispering there, Gabrielle?
Hey. When necessary.
I'm just saying, in the library, you got to keep it down. But I mean, I get it. For a lot of people, doing the census, a lot of this is probably really, really new. And sometimes doing new can be scary. I've done a lot of new things in my life, and that first, butterfly feeling in the stomach, it's like, ah. Then after you do it, you're like, oh, it wasn't so bad. So yeah, get that census. Head to your library. Again, you can whisper in there. So yeah, you can even lead in forward and say, hey, can I get that census board, please?
Don't be scared.
Just saying, there's so much out there for us to accomplish. There's so much out there for us to do. All we actually have to do is do it. Period. That's it. Genealogy takes time. Census takes a little bit of time. Once you give that time, that's it. The rest is just us doing. So yeah, let's knock it out.
Knocking out the box, Rick. Knocking it out, Rick.
No, sell out. What you got?
Huh?
What you got?
Peace, y'all.
That's what you got.
Questions, comments, concerns, and or corrections, please email attentionassembly@gmail.com. Call the number that TMH may or may not speak later. Man, yeah, you can contact us. You ain't got to be scared. Ask a question. Ask us a question. We might have an answer. We can find an answer. Remember, we are not trying to be right. We're trying to get it right. Peace, y'all.
All right, y'all.
Oh yeah,
Peace, 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 peace,
Really,
peace,
that's
peace,
what we
peace.
doing.
I forgot.
You know you ain't come off mute until he came off mute. That's the same thing I just did.
I thought about it when you got quiet. I went another thought, and I thought about it, and then it was like a race to the mute button.
That's how you be doing me at the end of the show. I go laugh. Oh, I'm sorry, TMH. Where are you going?
Ladies and gentlemen, Texas Assembly and the Mutants.
Gabby, don't say nothing. He gonna mute you while you're trying to do a salutation.
Really.
I went on mute first.
But you came back. That's not how you do it.
I did it, and then I'm going on mute again. Okay, no, serious. Okay. No, I just thought about it. Because I deal with this sometimes. I'll go to talk to someone to get a better perspective and sort my thoughts out. Because sometimes, well, not even sometimes, I've learned that as of lately, staying in my head, keeping my thoughts and not speaking things out doesn't help me organize not only my thoughts, but puts in order the goals that I need to obtain. And so I realize that sometimes some people I can't talk to, because not only will they not understand, but that's just not where they're at. Or they may give a negative response, which can be discouraging, whether you realize it or not. It can be also hindering. So something that people can keep in mind is if you know someone's negative or someone is not there, talk with other people who, even if they're not all the way there, just a little bit there. That way, you stay positive and not discouraged, because the smallest little negative comment can be discouraging for you, and it could set with you for a whole day, or even trickle into days that prevents you from doing something and making you question, this ain't gonna happen. This ain't gonna happen. I'm not gonna get approved for this, or it's gonna be hard to do that. So yeah, that's it. I'm on mute.
Cool. Want to thank everybody on the panel. No sellout, aka won't get right, aka wet mic, aka
Just put a napkin on it.
don't do that, aka here we go again. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you do. Gabrielle, we got more AKAs with click than anything. Clicktastic. Click a window. Click a label. Click anonymous. Get out them windows. Appreciate you. Good looking out. Bones, appreciate you for what you do. Always upgrading the website and making it user friendly. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the families that are supporting everybody that's on the Tactics Assembly. I want to say peace and blessings to Carrie Bay, Copper Indio, LJ Free, for all the work that you do and you've done to get us to this point. We definitely appreciate you. Your work, your contributions do not and will not ever go unnoticed. We thank you and your families for allowing us to spend that time with you as well, because they are sharing you with us and the chat and the silent majority. So thank you. Peace and bliss to the new subscribers of the website, tacticsassembly.com, to the YouTube channels, Tactics Assembly YouTube and Cap Grand Rising YouTube. Silent majority, continue to let your actions speak, even though you're not saying a word. To the best chat on earth, you know what it is. Make them prove it. They ain't proving it. Make them feel it. At the end of the day, it's all about what we gonna do. And there are many of us who are not in a position at this particular point in time not doing anything, because you have the challenges in your own life. You have your own survival. You have your own things you can do. So I don't want anybody to feel that this is directed at them. Not everybody is in the same place in life. So keep your head up. Do what you can do. Take care of your family. Take care of yourself. Take care of those around you. Do what you can do. This is not an attack on you. Because we all understand that we all have family members, associates, and loved ones that are just trying to get by. They're just trying to survive and just trying to hang on. Please don't let go. To those of us who are in a better situation, reach out to those that can't do. Reach out to those that are hanging on by a thread. You haven't heard from somebody in a long time? Reach out to them. See how they're doing. Because you just never know. Be very careful of what you say and how you speak to people, because you don't know what they're going through. Just never know. We're going to be a real community. We're going to be a community of righteous judges. We have to understand that just because everybody look like they're in a good mood don't mean everybody's in a good mood. So be careful. Be careful how we approach and talk to one another. With that being said, for those of us who are in a position to do something, who are in a position to change, who have people following us, who are in a position to get things done, let's pay attention to the people that are around us. And what I mean by that, and this goes back to a saying that says, if you can't change your friends, change your friends. And basically what that means is, if you're growing and they're not, that doesn't mean they're bad people. That means they're not ready to grow. They're not. And there are people that have been in your life that was ready to grow when you weren't. I know that happened to me. So if you're ready to grow and make a change, and the people you're associated with are not ready at that point, that don't mean you have to shun them, make them feel bad. That means you go on without them, but leave a door open for them. But if their mindset's not ready to change, you need to find people who's ready to change. So if you can't change your friends, change your friends. Or better yet, if your friends won't change to make a change, then change your friends or associates. The same thing could be applied. We're here to help people do their genealogy and get it right. We're not trying to be right. We don't proclaim or claim to be the creators of any of this content. This content has been here long before many of us were even born or thought of. So, if someone comes to you with something, anybody, whether it's me, somebody in A2, or anybody comes to you with some information, make them prove it. it just might keep you out of trouble. So, again, shout out to Marlon P. Just not seeing you up here. Glad you was able to join us. Shout out to Big Hawk. Thanks for catching a cab. At the end of the day, we're responsible for who we're responsible for and who we choose to be responsible for. But just know, everybody in your sphere of influence, everybody that you associate with, is an extension of you. We all make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But if people are continuing to do malicious stuff and you know about it, you are guilty by association. Everybody deserves a second chance. That's not what I'm saying. But if a person is not changing for the better and they're getting worse and you associated with them, then you're no different. These programs dealing with HUD have no room for that type of craziness. Have no room for that type of scamming. Have no room for that type of debauchery. Because you will get slammed. So, something to think about. Take care of each other. Be nice to each other. Be kind to each other. And on that, I'm going to turn the mic over to Bones H. McCoy. I'm done.
All right, thanks, CMH. And again, thanks No Sellout and Gabrielle for putting in work to make this Rising Show another great one. Thanks to all the members of A2 that make this possible every Rising, to the active chat, to the silent majority. And basically just want to add on a little bit to what TMA said, is that we cannot turn around and do to each other what was done to us. That makes us no better. When we move forward, we must remember our ancestors and the teaching of their ways, to take care of each other, to take care of our children, to take care of our elderly. But to do that first, we got to take care of ourselves, meaning that we have to get ourselves on a personal level right, together, our surroundings, our environment. And no, we're not perfect and we're going to make mistakes. But a mistake is something when you get up and you acknowledge it's a mistake and move forward. To happen over and over, that's not a mistake, that's a choice. And we have to make sure moving forward that we make wiser choices on what we invest in and what we let represent us. What the information that we have here is an opportunity for us to do something about our conditions, for us to leave a legacy for our generations to come. But again, if we don't get our moral compasses right amongst each other, we're building for what? So let's take this time as we do this information to remember our communities, all our communities are in need. That let's get back to the root of helping thy fellow neighbor, helping thy brother and thy sister, thy mother and thy father. Let's get back to making sure that if one child in our neighborhood hurt, we all hurt. Let's get back to make sure if there's someone with a need in our community that we all hear their cry. We cannot forget those who are not able or those who are not at the point already to hear it. Because the moment we do that, we are no different than the colonizer. So on that note, let's continue this work and keep moving forward. Let's make sure this information that we find We share this among our family members. Don't impose it, you just share it. Share it amongst your community. Don't be afraid to speak, to ask questions. Find out the needs of your neighbors in your community. Then see what programs you as a community can access to address them needs. And if the needs are not being, and if the programs are not there, then you know what the next step is. Because these same people that represent us on these local levels, we put them there to represent us. So it's time for us to start holding people's feet to the fire as well as our own. Let's make sure we show understanding that we all come from different walks of life to come to this path, and that we all are still growing and still shedding. Let's make sure whatever we do, moving forward to our future, we don't forget the ways of our ancestors, of who we come from, what they stood for, and the sacrifices that they gave for us to be here today. So till we link up to the next Rising Show, remember we love you, and peace.
No, you go.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, everybody.
Hey. Peace, y'all.
Warning, warning, warning. Hard hats, pickaxe, shovels, boots required.
I mean, then I don't know.